Welcome to the channel PK 2023. Hope everyone has a good time watching our videos.
Ask anybody to name the Premier League's form player since the World Cup break and they will give you one answer: Marcus Rashford. But ask people who know Rashford well and they will tell you it is not about form. This is a player getting back to who he is and returning to his true level. Well-documented injury problems meant that at the start of last season, it had been 2 years since Rashford was fully fit while playing. Then, after surgery on his problematic shoulder that summer, a chaotic and dysfunctional United endured a miserable season, finishing with their lowest points total of the Premier League era. Rashford scored 5 goals in all competitions, his worst return from a single campaign. This time around, he has 27 goals in 44 appearances, making it his best goal-scoring season with 2 months to go. After emerging from the most challenging period of his career to become, arguably, United's most important player, Rashford is in a strong position to negotiate a new contract. His Old Trafford deal is due to expire at the end of next season after United triggered a 1-year extension in December, without which the 25-year-old would have been free to speak to overseas clubs now and leave for nothing this summer. That was always a remote possibility, but United must now focus on tying one of the best players in Europe to a long-term deal before the threat of losing him rears its head again. There is some way to go. Initial discussions between United and Rashford's representatives have already been held and more are planned, but there have been no major steps forward. Sources on both sides insist these are early days in the process. There is a mutual understanding that this will be the biggest and most important contract of Rashford's career. The potential sale of United by the Glazer family is not seen as a complicating factor in negotiations with Rashford, nor is the fact United have several key contracts to renegotiate simultaneously. Rashford is one of 3 players in Erik ten Hag's first-choice starting lineup whose future at the club beyond the end of next season is uncertain. The others are Luke Shaw and Diogo Dalot. Fred's contract is also set to expire in the summer of 2024. The most pressing negotiation to conclude is with David De Gea, whose deal expires this summer. United have not triggered De Gea's 1-year extension in the hope of negotiating a reduction in his wage, which stands at £375,000, $460,000, a week. Whether a new deal on reduced terms can be agreed will determine De Gea's future. Though discussions with De Gea are the most immediate concern, United are looking to press on with Rashford's contract. Sources with knowledge of the talks, who wish to remain anonymous to protect relationships, expect the pace to pick up in the next few months. Ten Hag described Rashford's contract as a priority after his 2 goals in the 3-0 win over Leicester City last month. "We are working on that," he said. "Just sit and wait, but in the background, we work hard. There are no questions about Rashford's importance or role at United, but his salary expectations will be key." In December, he hit out at reports suggesting he was in line to become United's highest-earning player and stressed his focus was solely on qualifying for the Champions League. Yet his growing importance means he can reasonably expect to become one of the club's highest earners. His contract is believed to be worth more than £200,000 per week in years when United are competing in the Champions League. Though it has been surpassed by several teammates since he agreed his current terms in the summer of 2019, a period during which United have amassed the most expensive wage bill in Premier League history. Last season's spending on wages at Old Trafford leapt to £384 million, an increase of nearly £62 million, in no small part due to the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo on a wage of more than £400,000 per week. Although Ronaldo has now departed, the arrivals of Rafael Varane and Casemiro in consecutive summers also inflated United's wage bill to a point where the club has to be watchful about their adherence to UEFA's overhauled Financial Fair Play (FFP) regulations on cost control. Without applying any self-imposed cap on wages, United are keen to avoid huge discrepancies between players to maintain a harmonious dressing room. An improved deal for Rashford will have to slot into that wage structure and not disrupt those FFP calculations. Club sources are hopeful of reaching an understanding and believe there is already a lot of agreement on both sides at this early stage. As the most prominent academy graduate currently at the club, it is difficult to imagine Rashford playing anywhere else, but there have been times when that has seemed possible, such as when Rashford's representative spoke to Barcelona 4 years ago before he penned his present deal. Paris Saint-Germain chairman Nasser Al-Khelaifi also sang Rashford's praises during the World Cup in an unusually frank interview, confirming talks between PSG and the really amazing United forward had previously taken place and their long-held interest in him remained. "We are not hiding it, we spoke before. But the moment was not a good moment for both sides," Al-Khelaifi told Sky Sports before United triggered Rashford's one-year extension. "Today, if he's a free agent, of course we can talk to him directly, but we are not going to talk to him now. Let him focus on the World Cup. Then, in January, hopefully, if we're interested, we will talk to him." Triggering the extension ruled out a free transfer this summer, but Al-Khelaifi's comments confirmed PSG's interest is not going anywhere, even after an approach was rebuffed last year. As Al-Khelaifi suggests, discussions were held between Rashford's representatives and PSG last summer with sources, again speaking anonymously to protect relationships, indicating that an offer of more than £400,000 per week was made by the Parisian club. United were kept abreast of developments and the talks were considered above board. Rashford decided to stay put. He is settled in Manchester and is having an eco-friendly home built in Cheshire. And if that was last summer, after a difficult year for him and his club, it can only work in United's favour that he is clearly enjoying his football again as part of a team on the up. Those close to Rash offered to have talks of the positivity around the club and player and noted just how much Ten Hag has turned things around. It was not long ago Ten Hag's immediate predecessor, Ralf Rangnick, was openly positing that Rashford could leave Old Trafford if he, his family and his representatives believed it was the right thing for his career. As refreshing as Rangnick's unfiltered answers in press conferences often were, it is hard to imagine Ten Hag entertaining the same idea. It would be foolish for any United manager to let a player like Rashford go that easily, especially after his recent performances. It shows how much can change in 12 months. Now the coming year will define the prime of Rashford's career, whether it's United or elsewhere.
Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe channel, comment and sharing our videos.